Well, hello YouTube, welcome back to Bison's Aquarium. Today we're going to do a water change in Jake's tank. The reason we're doing a water change is because the driftwood that I put in here, it still hasn't seeped out all the stain in the wood, and we're getting less and less each time, and I haven't done a water change in like 2 weeks, so the water's getting cloudy again with the brown stain that's in the wood. And because it's such a massive piece of wood, that thing's 3 foot long, probably about a foot round in this area here, and probably about 8 inches round on this end. And we're just going to do some gravel vacuuming, and we're just going to do the vacuuming in the front part here, and over on the side a little bit. And we're going to do a 20-gallon water change. Might do 25, depends on how my pump does. Usually I can get down past the second knuckle and my pump will still run just fine, but I normally don't turn my pump off unless I go really low, do a half a water change. But worst comes to worst, I have to turn my pump off. But I never use my heaters, and my tanks stay between 72 and 78. So I haven't run any heaters whatsoever in any of my tanks, and they all stay just fine. And as you can see, he's happy, and he's growing. He's huge. Compared to, he was about that big when I got him. Now, turned. Now he's about that big. What's that, about 3.5, 4 inches? So, we're going to go ahead and get started on this and show you how I go about doing water changes. Now I might speed up a few spots here and there, and while I'm doing the vac and water change. Now I've got 2 buckets here. I got a trash can and a bucket that I'm going to do, fill them up, then stop it, and then start all over and do another 2 after I empty these 2. And depending on how things go, we may do a 5th one, and let's get started. He thinks it's feeding time. Alright, so we got this big old thing here, and I wish this hose would stop bending on me. It's so stiff it ain't funny. But we got the pump on it, so let's get started. This ain't food. You better run, better run, better run. Look at all that dirt in there, under that gravel. Now I've got a board here that I usually just set up here, and then I'll set the bucket up on top of it. And then we have this. Of course I gotta get my clamp first. And then we'll siphon it in there. Now these buckets here, I'll show you. I've got 4 buckets here. And as you can see, it says for fish tank use only, aged water. I'd like to have 5 of these. And I had 11 of them, but I gave a bunch of them to a friend of mine. And they all had lids on them just like this. I wish I'd have kept a couple more of them. But those are treated. Each one of those have 5 milliliters of the Start Right for starting new tanks. And this water stays in here for about 2 weeks. By the time I'm ready to use it, it's ready to go in my tank. So that one up there that's on the tank being emptied, I just added some to it, and so it's only got 5 gallons of water that is actually from the tap, but it was treated before I put it in there. But you know, it hasn't been in there long, so that wore me out carrying them buckets. Be nice if I had a water hose, but I have a water hose, but there's no place to hook it up. So I still do it by the buckets, and that's not a big deal. It wears you out after a while, but anyway. Now once it gets up to the second knuckle, I can go ahead and start the pump back up and get it running. Alright, there's that one. And there we have Jake's water change, and as you can see, it's made a huge difference in how it looks. Now I just got to change the filters to filter out all the stuff that's floating around that didn't get sucked up with the vac. And that's how I change water in my tanks. I'll take a net later after the video and probably just polish some of that stuff out of there that is floating around. That it's going to take a while to get to the pump, and in fact I'll just do that right now. I usually just take a net and go around and collect all of it. Everything wasn't in my way. The rest of that will come out with the filter. So there you have how Bison's aquarium changes his water, and that's what I do on every tank. And then I'll go around with Windex and clean the outside of my glass. And I'll do that off camera. But there you have it. I hope this is informative and enjoyable. Jake's hiding now. He usually hides until I'm done, and about 10 minutes later he'll come out and check out his new surroundings. Probably see a little bit better now because there ain't no brown stain in the water. But anyway, don't you guys forget to like, share, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. And give me some input, guys. Burn that like button up and subscribe. You guys have a good one. Later.